Hi guys, and welcome to a new Silent Hill retrospective review for this channel. Today we're going to be looking in detail at the creation and fruition of Silent Hill 3, as well as a further deep dive into the story themes, lore and elements littered throughout this classic masterclass in survival horror. In a similar fashion to my Silent Hill 2 retrospective review, I'll be covering the story in order from beginning to end in brief but detailed sections, whilst pausing to reflect on some of the further nuances you may not have noticed before, and the thoughts and inspirations behind these ideas. So please be warned, if you have not played Silent Hill 3 before, I'll be getting into some major spoilers, so please proceed with caution. For those of you familiar with my channel, you'll know that the first 4 Silent Hill games hold a special place in my heart. However, without the time and resources to do these kind of videos full time, I always feel there's not too much more I can say that hasn't been said already. However, I feel I may be able to bring some things to light that casual players may not have ever known, as I like to be as thorough with these analysis style videos as I can. It brings me great joy to know my Silent Hill 2 retrospective is my most viewed review on my channel, and that so many people have said they've enjoyed it and have learned a lot from it. And even if I can't come close to that success with this video, I would still like to keep this as a time capsule to look back on, as to further explain my love for this game and what it means to me personally. And if you're all along for the ride, that's even better. Production for the PlayStation 2 version of Silent Hill 3 started back in 2001, almost immediately after the release of the now critically acclaimed Silent Hill 2 by the infamous Team Silent, a creative production group within Konami Computer Entertainment Tokyo, who were also at this point responsible for the creation of Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 2. Believe it or not, this game was originally going to be an on-rail shooter and not a direct sequel to the events of Silent Hill 1. This was a decision made after the slow Japanese sales of Silent Hill 2 back in 2001. Creature designer Masahiro Ito stated that they wasted a bunch of time and budget on that initial idea between September 2001 and September 2002 before it was scrapped for good. From scratch, the final release version we got of Silent Hill 3 was developed in less than 9 months. Like with Silent Hill 2, the team did a lot of location research in order to try and bring the environments to life as much as possible. The sheer amount of effort that went into all aspects of preparation for the creation of the game is amazing.
This effect makes the sets come alive, like these walls that bleed or burn, or these floors that swarm, a concept that's apparently obvious and yet you've never seen it before.
ゲーム機では初めてだと思いますけど、ゲーム機じゃないところではもしかしたらあるかもしれないですけど、ちょっと僕も全部は知らないんで。
Like all early Silent Hill games, the Japanese team pulled a lot of inspiration from Western horror cinema and literature. For example, the streets in Silent Hill 1 are all named after famous authors. Some of the most notable references used for Silent Hill 3 are the movie by Adrian Lyne, Jacob's Ladder, and possibly the movie Session Night. And the team also cited that some of the works of Stephen King were a huge inspiration, as they have been in previous entries. However, to give better context, I'll speak on these once we're going through the story beats. A lot of the character designs went through multiple changes before deciding on the final models, showing the level of detail not only the voice acting would bear on the characters, but also their physical attributes and the way they present themselves would all have some form of outcome on our connection to the story.
Inspiration struck while they were flipping through a fashion magazine. When they saw this picture, they realised that because she had no eyebrows, they couldn't decipher her feelings. So they used this idea for Claudia's face. Although this detail is barely visible, it manages to evoke a subtle, uneasy feeling.
Also, certain names and looks within the game are based on real-life actors and actresses.
の女優とかで言えばちょっとソフィー・マルソーとかあとシャルロット・ケンズブールとかなどを
Like Douglas, the detective, who was based on the priest in The Fifth Element, were also created to be like real human beings with their failings and complexes. The animator wanted to make Vincent's hypocrisy emerge through the way he acts.
まずですね、顔の表情をちょっと笑い方にしてもちょっと怖い笑い方っていうか爽やかな笑いではなくて
Go northwest on Nathan Avenue. It's a bit far. But closer than heaven.
まあちゃんとよく見てみると分かるんですけど、目の動向が片っぽちょっと焦点が定まってないんですよ。片っぽわざと、右目か左目ちょっと忘れちゃったんですが
Same as Silent Hill 2's technique of having the actors act out the scenes on the stage wearing the mocap equipment, this was also the case for the making sure that the actors had the correct chemistry for working off of each other like performing a play.
Following me
Then comes the next step. The actors really play the game scenes for the motion capture, which requires considerable physical and emotional involvement.
Did you do this? You're late. But why? Why?
Of course, the actors also record the voices of the characters.
The soundtrack again was handled by series composer and musical virtuoso Akira Yamaoka, which I'm lucky enough to have seen perform in the Silent Hill soundtracks in London a few years back and still have my signed poster I'm extremely proud of. It was the first Silent Hill OST to feature more prominent vocal tracks featuring artists like Mary Elizabeth McGlynn and Joe Romero. Also the opening theme You're Not Here, which also surprisingly was in the port of the video game Dance Dance Revolution Extreme.
It would be a much better sight with you, with me.
Akira auditioned about 50 candidates, and when he heard the timbre of this voice, he completely fell under its charm.
Then a hero comes along with the strength of carry.
In addition to the music, Akira had to create new and particularly hair-raising sounds.
サイって動物のサイをベースにあるピッチを変えたり、そういうコンピューター上でエフェクトをかけたりしたのを記憶してますね。
Monsters as varied and disturbing as ever.
Yamaoka's efforts didn't just stop at the soundtrack, however. He was named the producer for the production of Silent Hill 3, which was a much larger responsibility on the overall outcome of the game than he'd had before. However, quotes from Yamaoka seem to suggest he may not have been fully prepared or devoted enough to focus his efforts on other areas of the game outside of its soundtrack. But regardless of this, Silent Hill 3 turned out to be one of the very best entries in the series. Silent Hill 3 released on the PlayStation 2 between May and August of 2003 depending on regions, and received very positive reviews for its graphics, gameplay, sound design and story. It received a Metacritic score of 85 out of 100 for its PS2 release and 72 out of 100 for its later PC release. Personally, I believe, as it's built directly for the PS2 console, that this is the very best way to experience the game. Although for anyone interested in playing this title on modern hardware, the only way is to either emulate it on the PC or play the atrocious HD collection, with the re-recorded voices and awful slowdowns, glitches, bugs, missing audio, and too many more issues to list in this video without it turning into its own video. However, if you've never had the chance to play Silent Hill 3 in its entirety, I hope to do a condensed demo and explanation of the story for you here today. So without further ado, let's get into it. The menu is simple enough, however in the options by pressing the shoulder buttons you can access a secret options menu where you get to change the blood colour, set the map to always be zoomed, toggle walking to run in as a preset, and other helpful options. Upon starting the game we meet our main character, Heather Mason, who finds herself in the middle of a dark and misty night at the Lakeside Amusement Park. She seems unsure how she arrived here and looks down to see a knife in her hands. After exploring some bloodied mascot costumes with Robbie the Rabbit, Heather makes her way into the depths of the park further, and it's immediately evident that this is a much more harsh and disturbing environment off the bat than Silent Hill 1 or 2 were. You have double-head dogs and closers coming at you from all angles, and it reminds me a lot of how straight in the deep end the original Resident Evil 2 was. The second you get control of the character, you're under attack in an intense situation. You make your way up the stairs to a roller coaster where the control room is locked. You start walking the track, to then hear a roller coaster cart hurtling towards you. Being too high to jump down, Heather is killed by the runaway cart. However, awakens from the nightmare in the Happy Burger of her local mall. We get a good look at the advanced graphics, lighting and character models here, and for 2003 they're extremely impressive even to today's standards. She leaves and makes a call to her dad on the payphone, and from the way she speaks you can tell they care a lot for each other.
Dad, it's me. Yeah. Sorry I didn't call sooner. Yeah, I guess I was. Anyway, I'm coming home now. I love you too, Dad.
A shady-looking detective then approaches Heather.
Heather, I need to speak with you. My name is Douglas Cartland. I'm a detective.
A detective? Really? Well, nice talking to you.
This is very important. It's about your birth.
I'm not interested. Are you still following me? Do I have to scream?
Sorry. I'll wait here.
There is also a cheat code which allows Douglas the detective to appear in his underwear, which gives the scene a very different tone.
Are you still following me? Do I have to scream?
You then find our first save point and a returning symbol familiar to Heather somehow, the halo of the sun. She states she recognises it before climbing out the bathroom window and trying to ditch the detective. The setting sun and the guitar track here are a nice calm before the storm. You find yourself having to re-enter the mall in the empty and dark back corridors. And for someone who used to have to walk corridors like this a lot for late shifts in shopping centres, I can tell you it's just as creepy in real life. You can even find a poster for Silent Hill 2 with Angela on, which is a nice Easter egg. We happen upon our first enemy called a closer in a clothing store where you find a pistol on the ground, which in a panic Heather grabs and unloads into it. We'll meet a character shortly called Claudia Wolf. The enemy designs in this game are tied to her background, and it's also been said that the closer design are possibly meant to represent people with a consumerist nature, hence why the arms resemble heavy shopping bags, and possibly why you first fight one here in the clothing store.
The power of money that you view with such scorn.
We then make our way to a bakery where a staple Silent Hill meme was born. It's bread. You take the tongs to reach a key in between the slats of a pallet that let you into a bookstore. Also, I love the aesthetic and look of this bookstore. I wish it was a real place. There's even a picture of Norman Reedus on a random book called College.
Hold on. Let me process this.
We see our first puzzle of the game, a row of Shakespeare books on the ground with numbers on the spine. You have to align them correctly to get the door code, however the degree of involvement changes with the puzzle's difficulty setting.
Goddamn poetry writing piece of.
We then meet Claudia Wolf awaiting us behind the bookstore.
I am Claudia.
So what?
Remember me, and your true self as well. Also, that which you must become. The one who will lead us to paradise with blood-stained hands.
Claudia, right? Did you do all this?
It was the hand of God.
After this, you enter an elevator and a radio drops down from the ceiling.
Huh. Radio. What's going on with that radio?
Like previous installments, the radio is your warning when enemies are nearby. You exit and enter another elevator, however the world around you seems to be deteriorating and becoming more of a nightmare. Here's some of our first looks at the inspirations directly from Jacob's Ladder.
Is this a dream? When am I going to back up?
We then exit into the nightmare version or otherworld version of the same mall, even more dank and disgusting than before. Also, one of this game's strongest graphical points is the perfect use of its lighting on the environments. We get a very creepy scene in the bathroom where you knock on a stall door, and when you go to leave it just opens by itself, and when you go back to check, the toilet stall is just covered in blood. Also, there's a fourth wall break and a joke about Silent Hill 2 here, when you try and get Heather to reach into the toilet, just like James did in the apartments of Silent Hill 2 to get the wallet.
Oh, forget it. This is way too gross. Who would even think of doing something so disgusting?
Alfie, not again. Why are you late?
Because I buried my sister today.
Don't look at the camera. You mustn't look at the camera.
Sorry.
Okay?
Yeah.
It sort of breaks the illusion this is real life.
Right.
You find a wire coat hanger we need to reach this ladder, and on certain difficulty options, there is a bulletproof vest here to take which allows you to withstand more enemy damage, but it slows you down by about 50%, so it's almost like you're running in slow motion. There's also this little secret sound where you try the back door in this clothing store and hear a rope tightening. Almost like you trying the door activated someone hanging themselves. It's the really subtle but creepy details like this that give Silent Hill its iconic psychological element. We then use a bent coat hanger to pull down a ladder out of reach so we can access the second floor of the mall. We find a static TV running next to a save point, and we get a small clip of Cheryl from Silent Hill 1 calling for her father. We find a walnut in a jewellery store and get a key from a barbecued dog in a restaurant. There is a locked door with a crescent moon on it and some cryptic writing about how to unlock it. There is a section here with this fan which you have to complete a puzzle in order to pass. You pour a mix of chemicals into a bucket, which the fumes from kill a bunch of bugs blocking the way. However, on easy difficulty options, this area is skipped. We then crack open the walnut with a vice to find a gemstone inside, which fits the crescent moon door and gives us access to our final area of the Nightmare Mall. An extremely striking image of a single catwalk leading to a bottomless ladder descending into pure darkness.
I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
You make your way down to then have our first boss fight of the game, the Split Worm. This is a giant purple worm similar to the sandworms from June, which again could be connected in some way as Team Silent have stated that they were heavily inspired by the work of David Lynch. After pumping a few rounds into the split worm and dodging its attacks, it finally falls with a cry and the nightmare world seems to vanish. You're back in the shopping mall like nothing ever happened. You then get some time to recoup as you explore the abandoned mall some more, until for a second time, running into Douglas.
Heather,
It's you.
what just happened?
You must be one of them.
What did I do? And what do you mean by one of them?
You're in on this with that Claudia, aren't you?
Look, I was just hired to find you. I'm not on anybody's side.
Maybe I'm just an innocent bystander, but I can't feel sorry for you because you dragged me into this. I'm taking the subway home.
What should I do?
Hell if I know.
We then start the subway section of the game, which is very creepy and heavily inspired by the movie Jacob's Ladder, but I'll go into this more as we go along. You read an old newspaper article about a man who committed suicide by jumping in front of a moving train.
It looks like he may commit suicide. Suicide is badass.
No.
Again, there are moments throughout Silent Hill 3 that set up scares that may or may never come, and this is one of them. It's just planting a small seed of doubt about what awaits you down on the subway platform. You find some locked gates just like in Jacob's Ladder. And the actual station platform name Heather needs to get home is called Bergen Street, directly from the film. You make your way through multiple levels of the subway station trying to get home. The vast emptiness and darkness of the corridors and platforms are very unnerving. You come across an occult magazine talking about how people who die in accidents can haunt the surroundings where they passed and can even possess people close by. This again sets up that you will face some form of evil spirit down in the subway. You get this awesome POV and heavy breathing shot of someone pushing Heather onto the tracks, and if you don't get back on the platform quickly enough, you get hit by a train and it's game over. We have a nice subtle moment where a telephone rings for a split second. And then we start to find the enemies lurking down on the dark platforms. Oh, f***. That really caught me off guard. F*** off. F*** off. Thing. I think one of the most disturbing images is the dead body under the newspaper and rubbish. You just see some feet poking out from underneath a bunch of junk and red-stained newspapers, and Heather questions if he's just sleeping or dead. That would freak me out seeing someone like that late at night on the underground. We obtain a nutcracker to unbolt the locked gate from earlier, and then down on the platform there is an abandoned train where we find a shotgun in a gift box left for Heather. This again is a theme of Heather's birthday taking place during this game, but not the date of birth she knows about. We then come across our first insane cancer enemy. Oh no, I hate these things, I hate these things. F*** off, F*** off! Get no. Piss off, I guess we'll give him a shotgun! Please die. Yes, okay. Kick the shit out of him ever. These things terrify me, and they're probably one of the scariest but simplest monster designs in the game.
Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick, boy. That's a thick-ass boy. Damn.
There's a red door you can spot from the platform, but upon getting down onto the tracks and trying it, it's locked and you get ambushed by 2 double head dogs and an oncoming train. You scramble to get back on the platform in time and then make your way onto the ghost train. You make your way through dingy graffiti-littered carriages, with your radio static keeping you alert at all times. The lighting of this section is extremely well done for its time as well. The use of shadow and flickering fluorescent lights is really effective. Your train comes to its final destination, a dead-end platform leading to a series of underground service tunnels. Now this would scare the life out of me. Just imagine you've fallen asleep on the train and wake up getting off at a platform you don't recognise. There's no staff, there's no phones, it's the middle of the night and you have to just make your way through these dark underground tunnels, not knowing where it's leading. This section really gets under my skin. We find a mall in a locker room and come across some even larger variants of enemies we've encountered so far. Oh, oh, I don't like that one so big. What? I didn't know they varied in size. We find an empty wine bottle which we use to transfer some kerosene in from an old heater. This gets the generator working, which allows us to drain the sewage water away. By this time we've read some notes left behind about a monster in the water that killed some workers. We get a little glimpse at a creature we'll see more of later as you pass over this bridge, and it looks almost like a mutated alligator or something, making you think this is the monster in question. However, if you leave and then come back, it's disappeared from sight. Again, really making use of that psychological way of making you doubt what's coming or what you've just seen. You then find a hairdryer which you plug into a socket and throw into the water. This electrocutes the tentacled monster in the water, allowing you to pass over the narrow walkway and finally make a way out of these tunnels. There is a really strange secret cutscene you can achieve here if you try and throw in the lead pipe. You get a cutscene of a fairy who offers you a gold and a silver pipe. If you answer her questions truthfully, she awards you the pipes as well as your own back.
that you dropped? Was it this precious gold pipe? Well then, was it this magnificent silver pipe? Perhaps it was only this filthy steel pipe that you dropped. I have finally found a truly honest man. In return, I will give you both the gold pipe and the silver pipe to keep.
We exit and immediately happen upon a construction site with no way past but through it. We pick up some supplies and come across another small subtle mind game with a downstairs bathroom. When you enter, you can hear footsteps from above.
Can you hear that? It's like knocking.
But it's never explained what it is or heard of again. The game is just so well layered with all these minute details. Some of the floors are locked off, so we make our way to the very top floor and come across a missable but interesting secret item. If you hit this patch of wall hard enough, it will reveal a dead body hanging and a silencer for your weapon. Heather states it's just like that movie The Black Cat, based on the book by Edgar Allan Poe. Brady Games' official guidebook for Silent Hill 3 stated that this is a nod to Metal Gear Solid, as they're both Konami games. But the creative team have never verified this. It is most likely a reference directly to the Black Cat, which is why Heather states it. You push a mattress down a gaping hole and take a leap of faith down to access the lower levels of the construction site, which allow you to exit out of a window and enter the neighbouring office building, the Hilltop Centre. We come across a room full of mannequins and an extremely effective jump scare. I remember the first time me and my friend played this. He dropped the controller and refused to play anymore and wanted me to continue. There is an elevator with doors slightly ajar. We find a rope in a desk drawer, and again all these rooms are so unique with different layouts and realistic environments that aren't all just copy and paste of each other like later games in the series. We find a jack in a car mechanic's office and use it to pry open the elevator doors further, and then use the rope to descend down. There is a room with some displayed toilets and baths, and upon turning the bath taps, the god from within Heather starts to directly influence the world around her, transforming the Hilltop Centre into an alternate nightmare version of itself. We get a clip of Harry Mason from Silent Hill 1 where he's talking to Sybil about the other world.
It's being invaded by the other world. That world of someone's nightmarish delusions come to life.
No, not again. Did she do this too?
Hinting that Heather may be connected to Harry in some way. We see some of the most disturbing and captivating imagery in this section of the game. It's both alluring and repulsive at the same time. There is a picture we find with a note saying "Find the Holy One, kill her," with a picture of Heather, most likely a picture taken by Douglas. We then meet Father Vincent. He's a priest of the now named order, the cult from Silent Hill 1. However, he takes more of a laid-back approach to the cult and its teachings than the more radical members such as Claudia. There is even behind Heather at one point the word "friends" written on the wall. It's subliminally telling you that he can be trusted.
Heather. That's what you're called now, isn't it?
And who are you?
The name's Vincent. Don't forget it, okay? I'm on your side.
So you say. But how do I know you're not with her?
Her? You mean Claudia? Please don't lump me together with her. She was totally brainwashed by that crazy old hag. Well, I guess crazy old hag is a bit harsh. She is your mother, after all.
My mother? What do you mean?
You don't remember? Ah, so Harry didn't tell you anything. I guess he hid the truth to keep you on his side, eh? That figures. He's a pretty sneaky guy.
Don't talk about my dad like that!
Sorry. I apologize. Please, calm down.
How do you know my father anyway?
I know everything. I know about your past, too.
Then tell me what's going on.
You don't know even that?
That's why I'm asking. If you know everything, then tell me how I can put an end to this. Does this place get to you at all?
Oh, it gets to me, all right. I find it most fascinating. Wait! I'm not finished talking!
I knew you were on her side.
How do you figure?
There's something wrong with you, too.
Upon finding the exit of the Hilltop Centre, we find a monster called the Glutton is blocking it. This is an extremely creepy and well-designed monster. It poses more questions than answers, and cannot harm you, however you feel scared even getting close to it, or not knowing what it's capable of. You find a fairy tale book on the floor telling the story of a monster who has taken over a village. We then find some pork liver in a fridge. An article we read earlier on a chemical reaction with this will come in handy soon. We then see some further interesting imagery. We see some cultist bodies suspended similar to Silent Hill 1. And I also love the calming glow of these blue lights above the doors here. It's a really nice contrast. We also see a wheelchair in the distance with some light radiating onto it, but the path is blocked by something other than glass. Heather says the world from the other side is calling to her. I've since learned this could be a reference to the movie poster for a film called Session 9. However, Masahiro Ito has stated it's not based on that at all and it's just a coincidence. We find a matchbook we need for a puzzle in an empty room with a newly lit cigarette, and we learn that Heather used to smoke.
Since when do you smoke?
I've always smoked.
I've never seen you smoke.
Oh yeah, well, big smoker.
Oh, I don't like this one bit.
Well, I can't stop now.
Heather notices that she somehow recognises this painting in the gallery room, and then we combine the matches and pork liver together in this bucket to start a fire in front of the painting, titled Flame Purifies All. It reveals a hidden door behind it, and yet again we're treated to even more messed up set pieces. We eventually find more and more pages of the fairy tale linked to the glutton, and we start to encounter slurpers here, but luckily you can distract these with beef jerky just like you can with the dogs. There is a drink vending machine with some text written next to it. After using a single coin you just found to pay for the drink, Heather shakes it and hears something inside the can. After tipping the can, out falls a key. We find the final pages of the fairy tale, and after reciting the words, Tui Fui Ego Eris, the monster previously blocking the exit has now disappeared. You again transition out of the nightmare and otherworld, like back in the shopping mall, and make your way home to Daisy Villa Apartments. You can finally get some breathing space and time to gather yourself after such a long time wrapped in those environments. However, Heather, upon entering the apartment, finds her father, Harry Mason from Silent Hill 1, has been murdered. It's at this point it's revealed to the player that Heather is the reincarnation of Alessa that was given to Harry as a baby at the end of Silent Hill 1.
Dad? do this?
You're late.
But why? Why?
Revenge for 17 years ago, for one thing. If not for him, our dream would have come true. And then he took you away from us.
I'll get you for this!
There is another reason. To fill your heart with hatred. It must be this way. One day you'll understand why. He's the one who killed your father. I merely gave the order. I'll be waiting where all begins. In the town of Silent Hill.
We then have a boss fight with a missionary on the rooftops of the Daisy Villa apartments. You have to dodge an attack from behind as he's able to block your shots from the front with his blades, and can be pretty fast moving. The combat in this game is a lot smoother than Silent Hill 2, and the strafing comes in very handy. After defeating him, Heather returns to mourn her father, and finds Douglas in the apartment where she confronts him.
I don't know what to say.
Then don't say anything. I'm fine, so just get out of here and leave me alone already!
Calm down.
Calm down? How am I supposed to do that? My father is dead! He's murdered! Get out! This is all your fault! If it weren't for you...
I'm sorry.
Then go!
If it'll make you feel better, I will.
I'm sorry, Dad.
What do you do now?
I'm going to Silent Hill.
What's in Silent Hill?
I don't know. I don't care about God or paradise. If that's what she believes, then fine. But she won't get away with what she did. When I find her, I'll kill her myself.
I'll give you a ride.
I don't need your help.
Yeah, but it's too far to walk. Besides, I'm partly responsible for this. I'll bring the car around back. Come by when you finish saying goodbye.
You know, you might die too.
That's fine. Nobody's gonna cry over my grave.
I really love this angle looking up at Heather from Harry's body. The music is also very touching. While Silent Hill 3 has certainly more intense and industrial tracks than Silent Hill 2, 3 still has some very sombre and beautiful melodies of its own to rival that of its predecessor. You get a bit of downtime to explore her home and really let Harry's death and realisation of who you are sink in. You can explore Heather's bedroom and inspect all sorts of things that may give you more insight to herself as a person and how her home life was. For example, you find a stun gun in her drawers, maybe telling us how protective Harry raised her to be, as the cult had been looking for her all those years. There's even a painting of two small girls holding hands with a woman in a red dress. This is supposed to represent Cheryl and Heather being connected to a lesser. One detail I love is the dried blood on her gilet. It stays with her till the end of the game, almost like you're carrying part of your father's death with you from here on out.
I just met some guy named Vincent.
Vincent?
He's a friend of yours, right?
I'm not sure.
He said when we get to Silent Hill to look for a guy named Leonard, and he gave me this map.
Can't trust him, but we've got no other choice.
Here, take this too.
What's this?
Your father was holding it.
We then get a quite sorrowful scene with Heather and Douglas bonding on the car ride to Silent Hill over the loss of Heather's father. She reads a book containing more about Heather's past that Harry had to hide from Heather to protect her. The graphics and lighting here look incredible as well, even down to the animated rain textures on the car windows and the passing street lights.
You cold? What's the deal with Silent Hill anyway? It used to be a nice, quiet little town. But now...
You've been there?
Once, on a missing persons case. Never did find him. But I'll tell you, that's one screwed up town.
I was born and raised there.
One thing I'm not a fan of is the vocals on this track in the background. I feel it distracts too much from the scene.
Terrible happened in Silent Hill 17 years ago. A woman named Dahlia. She tried to summon the ancient god of the town. She offered up her very own daughter.
That's crazy.
Maybe so, but it worked. The girl gave birth to a god.
Both a separate structure within the others. Damage to one structure won't compromise the other.
You see, that girl had special powers.
Powers?
Her classmates called her a witch. She could make things happen with her mind. She could kill people just by wishing for it. But in the end, that god was killed by a single person. My father, Harry Mason. But I think Claudia's trying to do the same thing again. And I've been chosen as the sacrifice. After the god was killed, the girl reappeared. She was holding a baby in her arms. Before she died, she gave the baby to my father. It was so sudden. I never had a chance to tell you how happy you made me.
Gonna be okay alone?
Are you sure it's not you who's afraid to be alone?
You're right. I am afraid. I'm 50-something years old. I ain't never seen nothing like this. I still feel like I'm dreaming.
More like a nightmare, I'd say.
Yeah. I want to wake up and have a smoke already.
We finally step out into the fog-shrouded streets of the infamous town, making your way through familiar territories of Silent Hill 2 such as Pete's Bowlerama, Texan Gas, and we even take a shortcut through Heaven's Night. We see a pamphlet advertising Silent Hill when it was still a peaceful resort town. There is also a possible Easter egg to Maria from Silent Hill 2, as there's a flyer saying The Return of Lady Maria. You then enter Brookhaven Hospital, just as it was from Silent Hill 2. This is where we first encounter the nurses. Again, different from the nurses in Silent Hill 1 and the bubblehead nurses in Silent Hill 2. The nurses from Silent Hill 1 with the growths on their back are also inspired by Jacob's Ladder.
Off. Okay, now. What f***ing bullet sponges?
After clearing the corridors of the nurses, you find a small doll and an open book containing some form of a love letter addressed to Heather from a patient of the hospital named Stanley Coleman. This is a returning theme within Brookhaven Hospital, and the love letters get more and more intense and dark as you progress through the hospital. It's extremely unsettling, as it builds and builds this encounter that may come just around the next corner. There is a wall with random objects glued to it. One contains a key. There is a body in a morgue with a puzzle tattooed on the corpse's arm. There is an alarm clock ringing with a code written on it that you use to open a briefcase. This contains a Polaroid camera which will come in handy soon. The dark, empty corridors and radio static are ever present as multiple nurses await you at the doors of any given room you choose to explore.
Okay, and don't like that. Give me the first aid kit and let's get the f*** out of here.
You use some nail polish remover to unstick the key on the wall, and this allows you to use the stairway, where you can explore the other floors of the hospital now. I forgot on this playthrough, but there's even a nurse awaiting you in solitary confinement cells here, and it made me jump out of my skin.
Oh, oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, no, 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 no! Just wasted about 3 shots! In hell.
Right, well, that's it. Decision made. I'll have to wear the green tights now.
Again, a reference to Silent Hill 2 is if you check the fencing at the top of the roof where James fell down after his encounter with Pyramid Head. She says it's steady and shouldn't fall. There is a corridor very reminiscent of where you find all the bodies in MGS1 after Grey Fox kills all those soldiers.
It looks like they were cut by some type of blade.
But again, I don't know if this is just a coincidence. We use the Polaroid camera to take a snap behind a blocked path. This gets us a code to access a locked door. There is an article here about Hope House and the cult, named in this game onwards as the Order. It details the way that they take children in and brainwash them to follow the cult's teachings. We then get one final parting message with the dismembered doll from Stanley, warning us about Leonard. There is a ringing phone in a patient room at the end of the hall. It's Leonard Wolfe, Claudia's father.
Hello?
Claudia.
No, I'm not.
Don't lie to me, Claudia. You're always trying to run from your responsibilities. Have you come to apologize? Wrong.
Listen to me already. I'm not Claudia.
You're not Claudia.
My name is Heather. Who are you?
Leonard Wolfe. I can feel the hatred.
What?
Behind your words. The anger. You plan to kill her, don't you?
I'm sorry, but she killed my father.
I was going to forgive her if she changed her ways, but I see it's too late. Heather, will you help me?
Help you?
I'm locked up in here, and I must stop Claudia.
Where are you now?
I'm not sure myself, but the door is at the end of the hall on the second floor. I think I can be of help to you.
Then we enter a glowing red series of tunnels and gates until we finally encounter a large seal of Metatron, which was the occult symbol Alessa was using in Silent Hill 1, which is why Heather recognises it. There is a brief clip of Lisa from Silent Hill 1, which was the nurse who oversaw Alessa's care in the basement of Brookhaven Hospital.
Why? What is keeping that child alive?
It's almost as if the spiritual power is awakening memories of Alessa via the god within Heather. I love this next cinematic angle of Heather climbing the ladder and Voltiel underneath turning the levers. Voltiel turning these levers has more meaning to it than you may initially think.
その蛇口であるとかハンドルっていうのは何かを開けたり閉めたりだとか通したりせき止めたりとかっていうするための手段だと思うんですけど、でそのサイレントヒルっていうのが表と裏っていう世界があって、でそれを主人公が行き来するっていう意味ではハンドルであるとか蛇口っていうのは世界を行ったり来たりとかまたぐっていうことを説明するのに割と都合のいいアイテムだったから割と対応されてることですね。
Two obscure worlds in which you always feel lost, always feel surrounded by a void, always feel full of doubt. And doubt is what gives rise to fear.
Also, that picture of this smile that we've seen a few times now is actually inspired by Lisa's smile from the cover of Silent Hill 1's official soundtrack. We also see a lady named Fukuro suspended above Voltiel in a nurse's uniform, and underneath her is the word wonderful, as it's spelled out in blood, just like in The Exorcist 3 Legion, which is one of my all-time favourite films. Now we start to see some of the incredible animated textures that were a video game first for the PS2 era. They still look as incredible today. This must have blown people's minds back in 2003. This next room really scared me so badly the first time I played it. It's super effective and well executed. I'll let the scene speak for itself. After exploring the lower levels of the Nightmare Hospital, you find a ringing phone in a locker and receive a very unsettling call with a happy birthday caller.
Oh, you want a phone number? Yeah, I'm gonna put it down in my contact. Are you wondering if I've got a phone? You made one of those?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Oh, I forgot your name.
Who are you?
Oh, okay, thanks. Happy birthday, dear. Who are you? Happy birthday to you. Happy 31st birthday.
Is this Leonard?
That's the murderer's name, not my name. I'm not your beloved Stanley either. He's underground now. his new name is Number 7. But don't worry about that now. It's time to celebrate your birthday.
You've got me mistaken for someone else. Today's not my...
I'm not mistaken. Today is your 24th birthday. And I have a present for you. Which do you prefer? To give pain or to receive it? You can have the one you hate the most. Happy birthday to you!
But you're wrong. It's not my birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Lee Harker.
Again, the birthday is referring to Heather's true self, which is a lesser, which is why the god is inside her and affecting the world around her. We get a small plastic bag for a puzzle involving blood and an altar, and find a diary entry with some disturbing messages scrawled over the pages, most likely belonging to Leonard. There is a puzzle in the morgue you have to solve using the blood-stained numbers at the ends of different gurneys, and there is a key in the crematorium furnace. After taking down a couple more bothersome nurses, we find a birthday card on the floor. This also refers to Alessa's age, then Cheryl's age, and then the birth of Heather until now. There is a stretcher made out to be an altar complete with lit candles. There is a book on ritual and summonings to the side. We find a dead body hanging upside down with the blood being collected in a bucket. This reminds me a lot of how the blood was collected in Let the Right One In. We collect some of the blood in the plastic bag we found earlier and use it on the altar. This directly changes the world around Heather and opens up a ladder descending into the darkness, where we finally come face to face with Leonard.
Leonard, where are you?
Thank you. Now I can finally leave here. Now Claudia's ridiculous dream is over. Well, I guess it's time to dispose of her. The salvation of all mankind. Ha! Why must we reward even the unbelievers?
What are you talking about?
About our plans, of course. It's true that God is merciful, but first, one must be chosen. Only we, who hearken to the voice of God, will be given the keys to paradise. Don't you think so, Heather?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and think whatever you want.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that I don't think the way you guys do. I don't want any part of that kind of paradise.
You're an unbeliever. You deceived me.
I didn't deceive you. We were both just wrong about each other. I thought you were a normal person.
So you tried to trick me so you can run off with my seal, eh? Heretic! You plan to destroy God!
I told you I wasn't trying to trick anyone. What is this seal thing anyway?
Don't play innocent. You can't fool me anymore. The seal is mine! I was appointed by God to be its guardian! The only thing you'll get from me is a gruesome death.
person here a mental case? Well, I guess you're not a person anyway.
Leonard is probably one of the scariest looking bosses in the game, just due to his sheer size and monstrous form. I've heard theories that because the monsters within this are tied to Claudia's background, because she hates her father, as explained by Vincent later in the game, she sees him as, for lack of a better phrase, a piece of hence why he looks like this and is in a sewer-like environment. Also, the only thing I like from Revelation 3D is Malcolm McDowell as Leonard Wolfe. I love him as an actor anyway, but I just think this part was pretty awesome.
Did Claudia send you?
Claudia? Yeah. No. She put you here.
My old daughter says I'm corrupted by the darkness. She says that I'm a monster. She's far worse than I am. She's also corrupted by the same darkness.
After defeating Leonard, like the split worm, the nightmare world fades around you and you awake in the hospital like before. However, this time you're holding the seal of Metatron. There was a brief scene with Claudia and Vincent here, where Claudia learns about the death of her father and Vincent mocks her for it.
Why did you send her to my father? Was that wrong? It's your fault that he...
Oh, but surely it's a good thing. It means he was one of God's beloved, no?
Those who mock God will never receive salvation. You'll go to hell, Vincent. You'll never feel the joy of God's everlasting paradise.
And you think God is going to save you? Ha!
What do you know anyway?
I know about the pleasures of this world.
Everybody is thinking and concerning about sex and death every day.
You hated your father, didn't you? I saw the way he hit you, and kicked you, and made you cry. The memory of his cruelty is forever burned into my mind.
Yes, yes, and that's why we need God.
What you call faith is nothing more than a child crying out for love. That's why you're all alone.
You don't understand. None of you do.
We then finally make our way out of Brookhaven to go and check on Douglas back at the motel. Also, there is an Easter egg in Silent Hill 2 Remake where you can visit this very room and find Douglas's hat.
Cozy.
This room. There's something wrong with it. I think we should leave.
Oh, loosen up, James. It sure beats running around with those monsters out there.
I'm not so sure.
Where's Douglas?
He went out. But he left a message for you.
Yeah, what did he say?
The church is on the other side of the lake.
Church? Wonder what he meant by that.
You don't understand? That's where Claudia is. Across the lake. On the north side. If you're going, you better go through the amusement park. It's probably the only way in now. Go northwest on Nathan Avenue. It's a bit far, but closer than heaven.
We arrive at the lakeside amusement park just like how the game began with Heather's dream. The god is growing stronger within Heather, and she must put an end to Claudia's plan before it's too late. We navigate cramped walkways and paths facing off against closers and dogs until we finally reach the control room for the roller coaster, where Heather was killed within her dream. We shut off the power to the ride and make our way down those familiar tracks, and and Heather jumps into the unknown below.
I hired you to find the girl, and you performed serviceably. What is it now?
You lied to me about Heather, lady. I don't like being used.
Lie? What lie?
That Heather was kidnapped from you.
But it's true. She was originally one of us. That man, Harry Mason, stole her away and kept her hidden from us.
Yeah, but she says she was happy.
She was brainwashed by him, deceived, because her true self had not yet awoken. She carries God within her. But when a lesser, Mother of God, truly awakens...
Yeah? What's gonna happen?
She will usher in the eternal paradise.
What kind of place is that?
A place with no pain, no hunger, no sickness, no old age. There will be no greed or war, and all will live by God's grace alone.
No this, no that, no nothing. A paradise? For castrated sheep, maybe. Sounds pretty boring.
I pity you. You still don't understand. You're going to kill me? Is it really so easy for you?
I've done it before.
Then I truly do pity you.
There is an awesome haunted house we walk through called the Borley Haunted Mansion, narrated throughout by what seems to sound like a homage to classic Hammer horror icon Vincent Price.
Welcome to the Borley Haunted Mansion. We're so glad you came. Please come inside and look around. When you feel you're ready, then go through the door.
I'm Vincent Price, and you're invited to my party in the house on Haunted Hill.
There are some awesome set pieces that are very reminiscent of the original Resident Evil 1 Spencer Mansion.
A family of 4 was sliced into bloody pieces in this room. Do you know why he said he killed his family? Because I felt I had to.
I was pondering that rather faded cliche, the devil made me do it. How that tired old phrase has been used in infinite variations to explain some cruel and irrational and benign human beings.
The truth is, only one person died. By suicide.
Whoa!
That's Danny. A quiet young man, but quite friendly, as you can see. He was so eager to meet you.
And it also reminds me a lot of the Max Payne 2 Funhouse. There is a chase sequence by a red light on the way out, and I've never managed to stop and see what happens if it actually catches up to you. It's just so built in me to run that I can't help but do it. We pick up a red shoe on the ground we require for a puzzle later, and we use a chain that we connect either end from a lock gate to a carousel. Heather then finds an injured Douglas on the floor with a broken leg.
Douglas!
You're late.
Are you hurt?
I can't move my right leg. I think it's broken.
I'll call an ambulance.
What? I don't think one will come. Don't worry. I'm used to it.
You old fool! Getting yourself hurt like that?
Sorry.
Why did you have to do that for me? What'll I do if you die?
What'll we do if this god thing gets born?
Come on. How powerful could a god from a dump like this be?
But if this is how a god of mercy acts, I don't want to see any more of him. That's a pretty good reason to risk my life, don't you think? Plus, I'm just an old fool, right?
You think you're Superman or something?
You know, I always wanted to be him. Besides,
Yeah?
I want to help you out.
You don't have to feel responsible. I know it's not your fault.
You remind me of my son.
You said nobody was going to cry for you.
Dead people don't cry. Stupid kid got himself shot robbing a bank.
But why?
Maybe because his pop was a penniless good-for-nothing. Who knows? Anyway, now I guess I'll never find out. Sorry. I shouldn't have said you reminded me of a guy like you.
Well, maybe if you had compared me to your daughter. Listen, I'll take care of the rest. You stay here and I'll be back when it's over.
You'll be okay by yourself.
Hey, no problem. What are you doing?
Maybe killing you here is the only way to end this nightmare.
Yeah, you might be right.
We use the red shoe on the display of the Cinderella statue and have to use a doll's head for the Snow White statue standing opposite it. There is a memo pad laid out just like they were in Silent Hill 1, which is a nice callback. It's a large memo written by Harry Mason talking about his experience of leaving Silent Hill with a baby given to him by Alessa and his conflicting thoughts on what Heather really is. I love this shot of Heather entering the now fully illuminated carousel. You have to kill these demonic looking horses until they all stop moving, and this triggers the memory of a lesser boss fight. The memory of a lesser boss is essentially a dirtier, grimier character model of Heather, only with black hair like Alessa originally had. The setting for their fight is really an incredible design. You have this swirling carousel which is constantly descending down and down with these twitching deformed horses. The floor is carpeted with these cool rugs, and you have these ritualistic burning bodies as a centerpiece. Alessa will disappear when downed, and then surprise you from any given direction with different weapons. After you finally defeat Alessa, you find a message on the ground and a path leading from the carousel to the church where Claudia is. There are messages scrawled on the wall that you pass until you finally reach the church and confront Claudia. Claudia seems taken back that Heather's made it this far. Heather comically here imitates going back to Alessa to try and stop the plan before laying down some hard truths.
How did you get here? It was Vincent, wasn't it? He led you here. When will he cease his meddling? But it's just as well. Luring you here also serves serves my purposes.
Checkmate.
Not yet. The time is not yet at hand. The time when all will be forgiven their sins. When the paradise we have long dreamed for will arrive. After the judgment and atonement, an eternity of bliss. Oh, Alessa, the world you wanted is nearly here.
That's not what I want.
Not you. Alessa, your true self.
But I am Alessa. My little Claudia, my dear sweet sister.
Alessa, is it you? Oh, how I've missed you.
I don't need another world. It's fine the way it is.
But you said it yourself. The world must first be cleansed with fire.
But that's not what I want now.
Alessa, don't you want happiness? Have you become blind to all the hopeless suffering in the world? We all need God's salvation.
Listen, suffering is a fact of life. Either you learn how to deal with that or you go under. You can stay in your own little dream world, but you can't keep hurting other people. Besides, I'll never forgive you for hurting my father.
I wish only for the salvation of mankind. But for that to happen, the world must first be remade. And for that, we need God.
You self-righteous witch! No one asked you to help!
God is growing within you. You despise me, don't you?
You're damned right I do!
That's good.
The chapel's graphics here look insane as well, even better on the PC specifically, but for the limitations of the PS2 this was insane. There are 6 paintings around the church which refer to the cult's teachings and beliefs and briefly outline Alessa and Heather's story. You find an interesting map for the following area, drawn by a friend of one of the creative team's children.
ちゃんとしたその対象年齢5歳ぐらいですかね。5歳より下だと思うんですけども、子供にちゃんと書かせてます。
You enter a confessional booth, and an unknown lady on the other side confesses her sins to you and asks for forgiveness.
I know I'll be put to death for the sins I've committed. And I'll go to my death gladly, and with a peaceful heart. But please, grant me just a small piece of your everlasting mercy. Give me for my wicked act of revenge.
Like Silent Hill 2, certain actions within the game does determine your ending on this, however there is less than both Silent Hill 1 and 2. There is a choice you can make, however I do believe the development team have said it's best to say nothing, as there's no gain in it for you by forgiving her, and if you do you're basically excusing someone's murder essentially. The nightmare otherworld of the church is full on Silent Hill 1 imagery. The sheeted bodies on gurneys, the rusty fences and bloody floor tiles and industrial fans. The graphics really shine in this last portion of the game. We find a quaint bedroom with an open book relating to the meaning behind the Halo of the Sun logo that Heather has been seeing throughout the game at save points. I also love this beautiful shot of the glowing lantern in the foreground. The game is extremely cinematic for its time. We then enter some form of gallery room where there are 3 portraits, the central one being Saint Alessa, which is the main focus of the cult's worship. Heather seems to recognise herself within both figures within the portrait, and now seems to fully accept her position in all of this madness. We enter a library where we find a tarot card and a book on the practice itself, where we then reunite with Vincent once again. He reveals that he, although follows the cult's religion or god, he doesn't agree with Claudia's ways and wants Heather to use the seal of Metatron from Leonard to stop the birth of the god once and for all.
Hiya, Heather.
You show up everywhere, don't you?
You make me sound like some kind of unwanted pest.
Well, who are you anyway?
Haven't you realized that yet?
Yeah, you're on Claudia's side.
I told you not to put me in the same category as that mad woman.
Well, you're pretty loony yourself.
It's true. We believe in the same God. But I'm quite sane. It's not uncommon for people to worship the same God and still disagree.
God? Are you sure you don't mean devil?
Whichever you like.
If you're frightened of dying and you're holding on, you'll see devils tearing your life away. But if you've made your peace, then the devils are really angels, freeing you from the earth. It's just a matter of how you look at it, that's all.
The point is that now I really am on your side. I don't want God to be born. Wouldn't be convenient. Much too unpredictable.
So you've been using me to stop Claudia, is that it? Do your own dirty work.
My dirty work? I think we both had our own interests in mind. You hate her too, don't you? You're the only one who can get it done. I'm just looking out for myself. Everyone does it. Don't stand there looking so smug. You're the worst person in this room. You come here and enjoy spilling their blood. And listening to them cry out. You feel excited when you step on them and snuff out their lives.
Are you talking about the monsters?
Monsters? They look like monsters to you?
Oh no.
Don't worry. It's just a joke. By the way, I forgot to ask you. Did you get the seal of Metatron?
What's that?
You don't have it? Leonard was carrying it.
You mean this thing?
Yes, that's it. As long as we have that, we're fine. Here, take this.
We then find a book on the meaning behind the seal of Metatron and its power, as well as a book on the teachings of the Order, most likely a history lesson for new members initiated in to read. We traverse the rotten ledges of the chapel's back rooms until we find another tarot card amongst the rotting bodies within the morgue. There is a room eerily similar to Harry's bedroom where we laid Harry to rest. It has a diary on the bed with notes from Harry questioning Heather's true self and future intentions. The lighting in the room is also extremely impressive. The power of the god awakening within Heather is able to bring these moments from the past into reality for her, which is why we're able to see Harry's bedroom, Alessa's classroom, and so on. We then finally reach Alessa's bedroom as it was in Silent Hill 1. Complete with notepad save point that Harry would have used before fighting the incubus. It has Cheryl's drawing book and all sorts of interesting callbacks to the original game. After placing all tarot cards in the correct places, we unlock a door and continue further into the belly of the beast. There is an amazing shot here of Valtiol turning the valves with the dangling legs on either side of him, just like in the opening of the game. We see Alessa's hospital room that was under Brookhaven Hospital where Lisa was caring for her. Next to the hospital bed there is an article on a Glophodus. This is a red liquid that can be used to drive out unwanted evil tenants. We know this as we find it in Silent Hill 1 and use it on both Sybil when she becomes possessed. And then later we see Dr. Kaufman use it on Alessa, driving the god out of her.
A Glophodus! I thought I got rid of that!
And there's more where this came from.
Stop it!
There is a room that scares me so badly in this section. The animated textures of the walls start to change rapidly before your very eyes.
Ooh, this is that room I don't like that starts changing. F*** off, slurper and missionary. F*** off, get shafted. I'm gonna f***ing wrap this maze round your head.
There is a locked door we find, we open with a brass key, and pass some further creepy corridors. There is a classroom we pass, which used to be Alessa's class at the Midwich Elementary School, which we visit in Silent Hill 1. There is some graffiti vandalised into her desk calling her a witch, as well as some reports on the teacher's desk stating that they believe she is being abused at home. There is a tape deck where we can play a cassette we find. It's a recorded session of Vincent asking a cult member if she's aware of what happened in Silent Hill 17 years ago.
Do you know about what happened here 17 years ago?
A group of pagans, blinded by earthly desires, spit in the very face of God. They tried to use the seal of Metatron to prevent God's awakening. But God drove the unbelievers away and threw them into the abyss. But due to their wickedness, God was unable to be born properly. And so, she has slumbered ever since in the womb of the Holy Mother until the time of the awakening. I heard that the Holy Mother has been found. Is it true?
Alessa has been found? Did Claudia say that?
Yes.
Then it must be true. Her sight rarely fails her.
Bless the Lord.
Maybe it's because of her great faith. But I could never be like her. I wouldn't want to.
However, even with Vincent's high position of power in the Order, it is known to some cult members that he is extorting donations, showing his lack of interest in the birth of the god, and that he may have more selfish, ulterior motives. We find Claudia's bedroom, possibly from the past, as there is a diary with entries from before her full involvement with the cult. as well as a 6th birthday card from Alessa herself, showing maybe Claudia's introduction to the cult and obsession with continuing Dahlia's plan.
Oh, I hate this room!
I love just how much of certain set pieces are obscured. It allows your mind to wander enough while still drawing you in. We now have all tarot cards required to pass through the door. There's some deep evil chanting rumbling below the surface of this final pathway. And the camera angles here are extremely reminiscent of the beginning of Silent Hill 1. We're then treated to a long cutscene that serves as the final build-up to the climax of the cult's evil plan and Heather's actions to end the nightmare.
Well, for the two of you to die, that would be nice. Then I could relax.
When did you stop believing in God? God lives. Just look around you.
But I do believe in her. In my own way. I fear her, and I adore her, but I haven't lost my mind like you. You think that this is the work of God? Isn't this all nothing more than your own personal nightmare, just like Alessa 17 years ago? If this really is the work of God, then I'd say she has lousy taste.
You mock God? Traitor. You will go to hell.
Not that again! Who do you think you are, claiming to know God's will?
Go home, Vincent.
Home? This church is my home. I built it with my power. The power of money that you view with such scorn. Although I admit that this atrocious scenery is all yours.
If you continue to get in my way,
then you'll kill me. Well. Well. The guest of honor has arrived. Let's get this party started. Heather, go ahead and kill this crazy bitch. This demon who claims to speak for God. The time has come. You can kill her now.
you'll go to hell!
What did you do?
Nothing important.
You're not going to run? I guess this is the end.
No, the beginning. As Vincent said, the time has come. Alessa, I'm saddened that you didn't agree to this on your own. But I thank you for nurturing God with all the hate in your heart. It's time for mankind to be released from the shackles of sin which bind them.
But a God born from hatred can never create a perfect paradise.
Happy people can be so cruel. Is it so hard to believe that sympathy could be born out of pain and suffering? Why do you reject God's mercy? Why do you cling to this corrupt world? You know that only God can save us.
And save you too? Happy ending? I'd rather go to hell.
No, I don't expect to be saved. And that's fine. Alessa, my dearest. For the pain that I've caused you, I deserve no mercy. Even if it was to save mankind. It was too deep a sin.
If you feel so guilty about it, why don't you go to hell? Heather, use the seal.
Vincent? The seal of Metatron?
Now your stupid dream is over.
Oh, that's just a piece of junk. What do you think you can do with that? Do you really think it can kill God? I'm sorry to see you fell for my father's foolishness.
What?
You're pathetic. But God loves even you. Now, Alessa, there's nowhere else to run. Just accept it, Alessa. The pain will disappear. I've been waiting so long for this. Even as a child, I knew I would see the coming of this day. I knew I would be a witness to it. Judgment Day. Alessa?
Shut your stinking mouth, bitch!
What are you doing?
Dad.
She is nearly here. Alessa, what have you done? What did you swallow?
Looks like God didn't make it.
Stop!
God is...
Claudia!
What do I do? Well, okay, I'll eat it. I'll eat it then. Fine, I'll do it myself.
I will burn God. If you can't do it, Alessa, I will.
Tony, the plan doesn't work. You asked them for it to be spicy. Remember?
I'll have the same thing.
Mild?
Thank you so much. Oh, sorry, did you say mild?
Yeah.
No, I'll have it spicy as hell.
Okay.
Claudia! Claudia!
It's so cool how that bit happens. Like Valtail just kind of like leaps out and grabs her, but it's all like a bit of a blur. Valtail there.
Can't be dead. I was gonna kill you. This is God.
We must now defeat the final form of the cult's god, birthed by Claudia in Alessa's stead. It is an awesome design, and a fun fact here is that the face is actually based off of Mary's boss design from Silent Hill 2. According to Masahiro Ito, he said that he didn't have enough time to design a new face as he only had 2 days to design the monster. The god has multiple attacks, whether it's sweeping its arms, knocking you over, setting you ablaze, or simply lunging at you. After sidestepping its attacks and pumping enough shotgun shells into it, Heather finally defeats the monstrosity that's been plaguing her since childhood. After Heather defeats the monster, rather than being met with a sense of accomplishment and gratification, Heather keeps us in the realisation that her life is still in a state of distress. She's alone, her father's dead, Douglas may not pull through, and she just breaks down.
Dad! Dad!
There is a number of endings you can achieve within Silent Hill 3, however in this particular playthrough I got the normal ending. I will discuss the other endings at the end of the video alongside some other bonus materials.
Heather, is it really over?
Not yet. You're still alive.
Heather.
Just a joke.
You've got terrible
I'm
taste.
sorry.
Heather, did
You
you...
don't have to call me that. I'm not hiding anymore.
You want me to use your real name? What was it again?
Cheryl. The name my father gave me.
Oh, that's nice.
You gonna let your hair color go back too?
I don't know. Don't you think blondes have more fun?
You're treated to an in-depth statistical screen, displaying all kinds of star rankings from time to complete the game, to number of enemies killed, by which weapons, amount of secret items obtained, and so on. This promotes great desire to replay the game on New Game Plus, and try to obtain either the other endings or perfect your score or personal best time. Here I'll showcase the secret weapons and outfits you can unlock using certain cheat codes unlocked upon completion. There is a surprising amount of variation, and some of the weapons are extremely fun to use. There are 3 main endings achievable within Silent Hill 3. The first is the normal end, which is the most common and easy to obtain. However, upon completion and then starting a new game, there is the option to obtain the possessed ending, where it's implied that Heather kills Douglas with a knife. To achieve this, you must take a certain amount of damage and kill a certain amount of enemies. This ending is most easily obtained on hard difficulty, as you'll take the most damage and face the most enemies. Also, by using the perfume, you can attract more enemies to attack you. The very last ending is called Revenge and requires you to use a specific type of weapon and outfit a certain amount of times and kill a certain amount of enemies. By doing this, when you return to Harry at the Daisy Villa apartments, a UFO themed joke ending will trigger, which is a running gag within the Silent Hill series. All in all, Silent Hill 3 is a fantastic survival horror game, and one of the best and last of its kind. It built upon what made the previous entries so great, improving the interfaces, the graphics, the gameplay, the replayability value, and trying to bring all loose threads together, giving the audience a sense of closure, while still feeding us enough disturbing images and sounds to stay with us 22 years on. Although not as accessible as Silent Hill 2 to most newcomers, I believe it's a game everyone who may be getting into the franchise for the first time should definitely experience. And if you don't have access to the game, I hope this video has served as a good example of the story and gameplay involved for anyone who may not have time to complete it firsthand. Again, thank you ever so much for taking the time to watch this video. I've been wanting to make more deep dive Silent Hill content since I released my first love letter to Silent Hill 2 video, but haven't had as much time as I'd like to do so. I worked very hard on this and I hope that it shows and that it was worth the wait. Please leave a like if you did enjoy the video and comment down below any questions, theories or memories you may have with the game or the Silent Hill series in general. I love to discuss these games with fans new and old. And finally, please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me out extremely to get this content out to the masses and keeps me motivated and driven to work on more videos like this. Until next time, I've been your host, JB Twinziger, and this has been my love letter to Silent Hill 3.